Hey, Bunker Labs, we are here for the All In campaign. Bunker Labs is all in for you as entrepreneurs to continue to move your business forward. And today I am joined by David Tenenbaum. Welcome, David.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's pretty darn fun to be here.
So happy to have you. I'm going to let you make the announcement yourself of your Bunker affiliation, but also just tell us a little bit about yourself, your military affiliation, and Honor Media, your company.
You bet. You bet. Thanks again for having me. This is pretty darn cool. Long time fan of Bunker. First time on camera with you, so appreciate it. David Tenenbaum. I'm an Air Force veteran, and I am the CEO and founder of Honor Media, which is a nonprofit media company for the veteran community. And we primarily do two things. We are still, though, in our growth phase, you might say, but two things. One is we primarily publish stories about the veteran community, VSOs, veteran-owned businesses, and then any businesses or academic institutions that are doing good things for the veteran community. And then two, in addition to our original content, we want to serve, and we do serve, as something of a production company, a media company, a consulting company, a digital agency for other VSOs and for anyone trying to connect with the veteran community. So, and I always hear, by the way, so I was in the very first cohort, the very first Veterans in Residence cohort, which is awesome. And I remember the initial videos that Bunker put out, and including Todd's video saying, "You don't have a business until you have clients." And I'm like, that's not very nice, you know. Like he said, I've got the email address, I've got the bank account, I've got the business cards, I've got Facebook, I've got everything. He's like, you don't have until you have clients. And so we've been super, super lucky in having, since we launched, several clients that have really connected us properly to the veteran community. So proud that Honor Media is up and running.
So you're officially a business because you have clients. So how long has Honor Media been in business?
3 years now. 3 years. And it's been a slow, I learned a ton from Bunker Labs. I recently completed the Launch Lab online, which was interesting. I'm doing things a little bit out of order. And then going through the cohort. And I'm also affiliated, you might say, with the Los Angeles chapter. I did, as you mentioned, Sis Boom Ba. I was offered the position recently of Los Angeles city leader. So I'm quite grateful for that. Exactly.
Very exciting.
And I'm quite anxious to return to the 35th floor downtown, but that's going to be a little while before we go there, I guess.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate you contributing here digitally and virtually, especially in your specialty, media. So in your opinion, David, what should entrepreneurs keep doing in a time like this, time of uncertainty?
Yeah, good question. And I think it's key. I think there's two things that are going on right now. One, there's a barrage of just information, and some of that might be extraneous. There's a tremendous amount of information about COVID-19, and there's, of course, the media is having a heyday with ongoing oodles of content to push out there, whether it's sensational, whether it's a call to action, or whether it's just an FYI. And so I think the same exact thing is happening in the entrepreneur space. And so there's every single podcast, every single resource online. I think there's every single sort of book, paid course, free course. There's every sort of university course that's been made available to us for free because of the virus or otherwise. And I think what's important isn't to try and digest all of it. I think what's important is to take one component and move forward and stick with it. I guess it's the concept of just focus that I think Launch Lab Online also mentions. It's almost like, I think, bear with me, I think someone asked Bill Gates this one time. They said, "What was your secret to success?" And he said, "Well, I told 1,000 people about Microsoft." And hopefully that smile means you mean it, or I'm just running my mouth too much. But I think someone said, "Hey, Bill Gates, what was your secret to success?" He says, "I told 1,000 people about Microsoft. 900 people were like, good luck, no thanks," or whatever. 100 people were enthusiastic. 10 people committed, or 10 people were interested, and one person committed. It's his partner. And so my concept is take all that information and all those bits of advice and make it this finite. And to me, my one bit of advice is what everyone should be doing is do what's necessary to generate revenue or grow the org right now, or do what's necessary to sustain the org further on. Whether, again, revenue, loans, so sorry, revenue, loans, sales, or some sort of strategy to take that and make it finite.
Absolutely. And no, I'm smiling because I've never heard that story before. I
Uh,
think that that's a great point. It's so true. And, on the other side of that, what should entrepreneurs stop doing in your mind that they're maybe wasting time on?
so this is not a popular opinion, and I apologize, but there's like this developing. God, I'm sorry. you got me. You got me all riled up here.
Oh, good.
So in the young entrepreneur space, and Lord knows I'm part of it as well, not by age, but in years of experience. And I think it's cool to sling some terms around and act as if we're part of it, but in reality, they're not applicable. And so folks are like, oh, hi, we have a guest.
We have another guest for our next interview, but yeah, David, continue. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm
No,
so
Joseph,
sorry.
you're good.
I'm
You're
so
fine.
sorry. Gotcha. I didn't know. So I guess the short answer is people sling terms as if they're really in the muck. But I think if someone hasn't really brought their company, if they're really not producing a product or a service, it's hard to say that you're pivoting when the first one was really never launched or never really brought to market. And so it's cool to talk the talk, but I think what's really more important is to stop wavering and stop talking and just truly focus on the madness of doing. Whether if it's a product, bringing it in every platform possible for sales, if create that marketing strategy and the marketing operations for it, ensuring that it's can facilitate purchase for it. But I guess the short answer is stop acting like a business and start being a business, because the talk and the spinning wheels is I need to censor myself, is fucking useless.
Absolutely. And, to the sentiment of some of our guests from this week, actually, is don't talk about it, be about it instead. So loving that just reiteration of that action and focus, as you were saying before. So as we're talking, to entrepreneurs, and you've gone through many of the Bunker Labs programs. So what should entrepreneurs start doing that will act as a catalyst to their success and to moving their businesses forward?
Yeah. I see this time, by the way, like the virus time is something that facilitates success, entrepreneurial success. And I guess to me, it's like, that it's a overly beat up adage, but the journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. And I think whether someone's on that zero stage, like you said, from 0 to 1, or someone's in revenue growth or revenue generation and growth, I think whatever it might be, should be take one step, write it down, create a deck around it, brainstorm around it, start building the necessary components for it to flourish and succeed. I remember when I first filed for Honor Media, that was the biggest kick in my pants I've had in a long time. Like, I filed with California, and then I got my nonprofit status with the IRS, and so there was momentum that was propelling me dramatically. And so I guess, long story short, check out the website, or check out a website that's key to someone's mission or goals. Write down their items, start manifesting, start taking actionable steps to make that a reality, rather than just to think about it each day.
Absolutely. And I'm going to make a call out as we're talking about this, because another one of our guests actually said to check out some, kind of like manifesting, but also drawing out your thoughts as you're going through it. So if you guys check out Chris Chopiak's video, again, she gives you those resources, and those are below. So that's a great suggestion just for visualizing, but also putting things into action.
Yeah.
So David, last word to you. Let us know about some resources. Where would you point entrepreneurs that are looking, for support in different ways and for things to move their businesses forward as they have time, as we're going through the virus pandemic?
So sure. So I'd be remiss if I didn't obviously mention Bunker Labs online. There's obviously a tremendous amount of information there. And I think two, obviously the Facebook group, I'm a pretty big fan of it, but the Facebook group for Launch Lab Online or similar has, you know, no one needs to reinvent the wheel. And so no one needs to learn about which bank do I choose for my commercial banking when maybe JP Morgan Chase has incentives and bonuses for veteran-owned businesses. Hey, which CRM software do I use? Which HR firms can I engage? What legal teams can I use? How can I launch my business? What resources are there? What marketing? What Shopify? And so, one, there's resources through the bunker community. Two, this sounds so strange, but I'm also the director of Heroes Linked, and we're a nonprofit program, and we connect veterans, military spouses, and those who are still serving with advisors. And typically, these advisors are pretty accomplished. And so, I would route people to heroeslink.org or Heroes Linked, and they can speak with pretty established C-suite folks or directors, VPs, who might be 5, 10, 15 years their professional senior, and have some key advice about growing. And so I guess my point is no one should ever have to ask the question, those initial questions. They can research and then connect and then leverage resources, people, and opportunities to grow. So I'd say, so Bunker Labs and then Heroes Linked are my two recommendations.
Awesome. And we will definitely drop Heroes Linked below in the comments so that you can connect there. David, thank you so much for your time and for sharing. And lastly, how can our community support Honor Media right now?
Ooh, you gave me a slow pitch on that one. Thank you. Yeah, so if there's anyone in the community who's veteran-owned business or who runs a veteran-centric nonprofit, I would love to chat about how Honor Media might amplify their efforts. I created Honor Media as a nonprofit to be in the ring with other nonprofits and to say, we're vets, our group's nonprofit, we want to help the veteran community in totality, and we want their messaging and their solutions to be known near and far. And if they're not known near and far, that's what then leads to the 20 a day PTS, TBI, MST that's going unsolved. And so people have a solution, and I want to help amplify that awareness of it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And you'll be hearing more from David as he starts his city leader duties and is in the group. We're so excited for that. But thank you for lending some time to us during this pandemic.
Vice versa. Thanks, Liz. I appreciate it.